Hey, Tuatara Nation, thanks for your company. I've got a special guest with me. You can probably see him on screen next to me, Andrew Pinky Marck. Pinky, thanks for your time, man. You are one of the two players that have already signed up to play for the Tuatara when we return to the Australian Baseball League next summer. So that'll be the 22-23 summer. Obviously, 2 whole summers of missed baseball. How frustrating from your standpoint, given what you did in the last active season and the fact that you had agreed to terms for both of the 2 years we've missed.
Yeah, it's super disappointing. I mean, I'm not getting any younger, so kind of playing out the end of my career, and I had so much fun that last season that we played. And yeah, I just want to get back on the field, and I guess it's going to be a couple of years later than I thought, but make sure that I'm ready, and I'm really looking forward to playing again.
All right, we're sort of halfway through the waiting period. It's fingers crossed that the rest of the league in Australia can get through relatively unscathed this year and have an ABL season. We'll be watching with interest from this side of the Tasman. What about you, mate? What are you able to do in terms of, we've been in lockdown in the Auckland region for the last couple of months, still transitioning out of that, so we're going to be in some sort of restricted life. What have you been able to do in terms of your training and how different has that been, and how's it impacted your business, the Fieldhouse too, which obviously everyone in baseball circles knows pretty well?
Yeah, so from a personal standpoint, I've been able to train here at the Fieldhouse and get my head in it. And we actually have weights and everything here as well. So I've been able to do probably more than most people. Probably the lack of motivation for not having the Tuatara is probably, I'm not training as hard as I did a couple of years ago, but I'm sure that when next season comes around, I'll be in the best shape I've ever been in, because pushing 35 next time around will be a bit of a struggle. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. From a business standpoint, yeah, it's really tough. The first lockdowns that we had last year weren't quite as bad because it was the off season, so kind of a downtime for us anyway. When this time has really hurt because we heavily rely on these months to kind of get us through the quiet months. But we got a pretty stable business now, and we're hopefully when we open up again, then everyone will come back in and support, because yeah, we love doing what we do for the baseball softball community, and yeah, hopefully we can do it for many years to come.
Yeah, it's a key message, folks. If you are watching, support local, support people that Pinky supports both sports, baseball and softball, a lot with the Fieldhouse. So if you are looking at buying some new gear, make sure you go through him. If you want to come down once we get out of lockdown and spend some time, make sure we get down to the cage and start hitting and use his facility to do that. Mate, you've won all this time off. You've managed to win the Baseball New Zealand Fantasy League again. I don't know how many times it is, but it's more than anyone else. You're obviously following the sport in the States pretty closely. Well done on the win, but give us a tip for the World Series. Who's going to go on and win it from here, and who do they play in the World Series?
Yeah, well, the fantasy has been great. I think I've won 3 of the last 4, but I still haven't got that trophy of Hugh Bainan. He's taken it down to Nelson or wherever he is now, and he's not giving it up. So I hope I can get that back soon. The World Series, it started with a great game. Yesterday, it was I don't know if you saw it, but the walk-off by Taylor.
That was awesome, yeah.
Yeah, really cool. So hopefully, we're going to see a whole lot of games like that. I don't really have a horse in this race. My team's the Padres. After my Ripken team got to meet Tatis and the other players a couple of years ago. I know George is a big fan of him, George McCarroll, so shout out to him. I'd like to see White Sox win. I think they're a pretty cool team. They're young, they're fun, and I think they're losing right now, actually, down 6-0 to the White Sox, just above me. So hopefully they can come back, because I like the way they play.
Who do you think who gets through from the National League then? Who are you tipping?
Yeah, I think the Dodgers just have the bullpen, and seem to really win this. And not only do they have the bullpen, they have Scherzer, Buehler, Kershaw, Urias. So they're kind of a very well-rounded team. And like I said, pitching in playoffs really kind of dominates. And so I think the Dodgers will probably go all the way.
All right, just for the argument's sake here, I'm tipping the Rays to win the World Series. I think they'll temper as title town. They've got the Super Bowl, they've got the Stanley Cup, and I think they'll add the World Series to it, and then they'll move the team to Montreal just for good measure.
You can never underestimate the Rays. They always kind of find their way to the finals.
Yeah, they're just got to find the way to get over that last hurdle and actually win one. Mates, you have made a transition heading into this season, which is obviously now going to be delayed. The start's going to be delayed by COVID, but you've been playing your club baseball at Bayside with the Wolves for the last few years. Moved back to where you started. You started your career, spent most of your career here in New Zealand playing for the Howick Hawks, and you're back there. Just tell us a little bit about the move back and what you expect this summer domestically.
So yeah, when I decided to go to Bayside was a club that was really struggling. It was struggling across the board, numbers, talent, coaches, and my whole purpose of going was to kind of grow the game and help them get back to the club that they were. And I feel like I really did achieve that. The Bayside club now is thriving at all age groups. Made the men's premier final 4 years in a row, 2 nationals, 3 Auckland championships. So they're in a really good place. And the thing I'm most proud of is probably the under-16 group that I've really worked hard on since I got there. They're a really formidable team now, and a lot of really good, skillful players that will be forces and potential Tuatara players going forward. So, yeah, the move was it was another tricky one because I've made a lot of good friends at Bayside. But also with John Follett deciding to make a comeback as a coach. He's done so much for the sport here in New Zealand and for the club and for me personally. So it was kind of a tough decision, but at the same time, I'm really looking forward to getting back and playing for John and doing it where I grew up. I mean, I played there for 20 years prior to playing for Howick, so for Bayside, and started playing there when I was 5 years old, and now my 2 sons are playing there when they're 4 and 5. So, yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. It's a very fitting story. You've got a good nucleus of a young side there. Obviously, the Tuatara Pathways program's been announced. Players are already sort of being tapped on the shoulder. Some are going to be offered contracts in the coming weeks. We're going to see some announcements. Up to 40 talented youngsters given the opportunity to be part of that program starting in April. You'll have your eye out for local talent, not just, I guess, within the Howick Club, but across the Auckland landscape, while others be doing it elsewhere around the country. You've got some pretty handy young guys in that Howick side, the likes of the Lasua brothers and Tui Mota and the like, right?
Yeah, some really good talent. I mean, I've either played with or coached most of the guys from the Howick team. All the young ones you were referring to were on the Ripken teams that I've coached. So now to play alongside them and see how far they've come is going to be cool. And I look forward to kind of helping them take their game to the next level as well. I've already spent some time with them in the cages prior to the lockdown and just making some small adjustments and really helping them prepare for what's next in their career, whether it be Tuatara or college or whatever it is. But that's one aspect that I really enjoy and will continue doing.
All right, mate. Wild Boar brothers as well. I forgot to mention them. Absolutely some real good young talent in that Howick side. Look forward to seeing you try to unlock that potential with those young guys and back playing for the Hawks this summer, and look forward to maybe running into you on the diamond representing counties at some point over the next few months. But, mate, enjoy the rest of lockdown with your family and best of luck for the season ahead, mate. Thanks for your time.
Appreciate it. See you guys.